to it again, are we? Part 5 in this series, and like the 13th episode in total. Damn. Anyway, where were we, Ray/Kirk/Rourke?
The incident reinforced the fact...
The incident? Oh my god, what happened? What did I miss? Wait, I remember now. The incident is you taking an animal to lunch and it basically outsmarting the two of you. Hardly surprising, but I guess it's reinforced the fact that you two are less competent than an orangutan. Right?
that the primate is limited when it comes to the unique ability, the human ability to reason.
What? Apes can reason? What your stupid experiment showed, and by your own words within the clip, was that the animal didn't care about table manners and didn't behave like a human. 'Cause guess what? It isn't one. But saying that it can't reason? You yourself showed this.
He began to covet our lunch because ours was obviously better than his.
Ape sees better food. Ape reasons, if I take that food, I get better food. It does. You even give it to him.
So I decided I'd give him my lunch.
Ape has better food. Pretty sound reasoning if you ask me. Your reasoning, on the other hand. I am going to take a non-human animal to a human restaurant and expect it acting like an animal to somehow disprove evolution. That is some incredibly poor reasoning if you ask me. So who's the lesser evolved creature in this situation again? No one, because that's not how evolution works, but you are definitely a moron, Ray.
To invent, to appreciate the sound of music.
Jeez, you haven't used any reasoning at all, have you? How the do you know that apey boy doesn't like music or anything like that? That's a totally illogical leap based on nothing, and especially not based on what you showed us. Also, many primates are known for using tools to get jobs done. If that's not invention, then I don't know what is.
You see, you don't get orangutans forming themselves into an orchestra. You don't get them forming themselves into a court system to mete out justice to its fellow creatures.
Idiot! Just because primates, etc., aren't as advanced as humans, well, some humans, doesn't mean that they aren't related. It means that they aren't as advanced. That's it. They evolved in different environments and never needed to develop in the same way that humans did in order to breed more and, more importantly, pass on that genetic information. They have no reason to act exactly like humans in order to do that. Rabbits are fairly successful creatures because they, well, screw like rabbits and crap out tons of babies. They don't need art or court or anything like that to do that. So they don't.
This isn't because he's a prehistoric man who is less evolved than us.
You don't understand how evolution works, at all. There is no such thing as less evolved. That doesn't really mean anything. Less advanced, again, maybe, but evolution has no end game. There is no target creature, and if there was, it certainly wouldn't look anything like a human. I am damn sure about that, because it would look like me, the ultimate sexy life form. But apes are not cavemen. They are apes. It's not a linear progression from amoeba to lizard to dog-like animal to ape to human. And the fact that you think that's a reason for anything proves just how completely lacking your understanding of the subject is.
But it's because he's another species.
Yeah, they are. But that doesn't mean that evolution is false, you dundering bungle-fungler. Ugh. God damn, this man infuriates me. Thankfully, this stupid section is over. On to a completely different stupid section. Aren't I a lucky boy? Ah, look at Kirk pretending to know how to book. I can only assume he has book wranglers just off camera to stop him in case he tries to eat it. We all know that he can't book because his favourite book is so obviously wrong. And yet he has no idea. So I can only assume that the version that he read was just a series of smiley faces that made him feel good. Because happy face make happy Kirk.
The revered father of evolution, the man who really made the theory popular, is Charles Darwin.
Oh my god. They said something that is basically true. I don't believe it. No, I mean, I literally don't believe that statement anymore. Everything else has been so staggeringly wrong that now I doubt whether this is even remotely close to true. I bet it was actually a guy called Kevin McKevinson, and he popularised the idea as a way to explain away the fact that no one has ever wanted to sleep with him. Because they simply were not evolved enough to understand a great mind like his and his vast collection of antique twigs.
He wrote Origin of Species and the Descent of Man. Ladies, listen to what he had to say about women.
Yeah, ladies, let's listen to what a man who existed centuries ago and almost definitely had outdated and messed up opinions on lots of things, but let's just ignore the fact that literally everyone else at the time almost certainly had the exact same opinions. This is what being intellectually honest looks like, ladies. Right, do you think these dumb broads bought that? What, we're still recording? Oh, fuck.
The chief distinction in the intellectual powers of the two sexes is shown by man attaining to a higher eminence in whatever he takes up than women can attain, whether requiring deep thought, reason, or imagination, or merely the use of the senses and hands. Did you hear that?
Yeah? But that had nothing to do with the fact of evolution. Like, assuming that that's not you cherry-picking again, and honestly, it doesn't even sound like it, but, well, it's a big so what. The man and the idea are not inseparable. The guy could have thought that stamping puppies to death was hilarious and getting into nude wrestling matches with alligators was a safe and family-friendly hobby, and that still wouldn't change the facts of evolution. I mean, he would be right about those last two, obviously, but if evolution was incorrect, it wouldn't suddenly make it correct either. That's not how that works. And the fact that you have to bring up unrelated stuff shows just how little you actually have. And that you also think that women are stupid. Although the women who take you seriously are, but exactly as so as the men who do as well. So hashtag yay equality, I guess.
He's saying that man has evolved to a higher eminence over women in basically anything he decides to do.
He didn't use the word evolved at all, but then he wouldn't. The sexist bastard actually knows what the hell evolution actually is. More so than you anyway. So it wouldn't make any sense for him to say that. Men and women are the same species. They evolve at the same time. You dumb f***.
Whether it requires reason, imagination, or deep thought.
I mean, clearly he was wrong, because you are terrible at all three of those things, and I know tons of ladies who would run circles around you in all three regards. And yet, I am sad to say that you are still technically the same species, as much as any person would still see breeding with you as bestiality.
Darwinian evolution, at its core, is not only male chauvinistic, but it's also very racist.
Right, okay, so let's just completely go with the idea that Darwinian evolution is just 100% sexist, 100% racist AF. Okay, but the theory of evolution, you know, the way we actually call it and the way we do it now, is not the same thing that Darwin originally wrote. He got things wrong. Lots of great minds do. That's why we iterate by taking the good ideas that work and discarding the ones that don't. In science, ideas change all the time to, funnily enough, evolve into the best version of that idea we can muster.
Charles Darwin wants us to believe that black people are less evolved than whites.
That trying to be dramatic makes it almost funny. But again, if that's true, so what? No one uses those ideas anymore. Well, apart from scumbags, but what are you going to do? But the science has moved on from that. And talking of unchanging, I mean, you're a creationist, and thus must be at least a bit of a Bible literalist. And if that's not the pot calling the kettle racist, I don't know what is. I guess it's only bad when Darwin does it.
If we can't convince you of how unscientific the theory of evolution is...
Yeah, if us two completely scientifically illiterate buffoons can't convince you that something we don't understand is wrong, yeah, I mean, it's kind of shocking that, isn't it? Almost like you two have so little idea what you are talking about that you probably shouldn't even try.
Perhaps these following experts can.
Ah, experts. Experts in what? Well, that hardly matters now, does it? I mean, when we do a survey of 70 bajillion scientists and they say they are not sure about evolution, it shouldn't matter that they aren't even remotely qualified in biology, etc. And yeah, they, at least creationists, have pulled that crap a bunch of times. I think one time some of the scientists turned out to be like park rangers. Like, really? But even if they do have some related expertise, that doesn't mean... Well, I just want to see what you come up with first before I explain that.
Ernest Chain, Nobel Prize winner, said in reference to the theory of evolution, "I would rather believe in fairies than in such wild speculation."
Well, that is surprising. Ernest Chain, I don't know, helped develop penicillin, so he is at least somewhat biology knowledgeable. Well, the problem is he's wrong, and as I understand it, he wasn't even actually talking about evolution, but biogenesis, aka the origins of life. And as anyone who's paying attention knows, that has basically nothing to do with evolution. So good try, but no dice.
Sir Arthur Keith, the physical anthropologist and anatomist who wrote the foreword to Darwin's Origin of the Species 100th Anniversary Edition, said, "Evolution is unproved and unprovable. We believe it only because the only alternative is special creation, and that is unthinkable."
Ah, this is a fun one, because he almost certainly never said that, and for the pedants among you, no, he didn't write it either. In fact, a simple bit of mathematics shows that it was incredibly unlikely that he would have written a foreword for the 100th anniversary edition. Because on the 100th anniversary of the book's publication, he was dead, and had been for a number of years. Yet this one is a bit of a misfire there as well, boyo.
Malcolm Muggeridge, British journalist and philosopher, said, "I myself am convinced that the theory of evolution, especially the extent to which it's been applied, will be one of the great jokes in history books of the future."
I'm probably going to piss off some of his fans here, but that sounds kind of ironic since I have literally no idea who that is. So he's less of a joke and more of a shrug and a look of confusion in the history books. Although he was a satirist, so maybe he was just taking the mick? Who knows? But he's almost certainly not an expert as you said he was supposed to be, so yet more failure. And since that is the last of them, well, there's one important thing left to say on this. Even if all of them were experts in evolution exclusively, their opinions are not relevant to the factual basis of evolution. Science is not based on the opinions of experts or any one person, but on the accumulation of data and the conclusions that that data points to, which, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but it turns out that evolution is true. Shock and or horror.
A wise man once said,
A wise man? Well, then he certainly wasn't one of you two, was he? Or anyone who works for you? Or your friends / family members? Or anyone you've ever met? Because, you know, your very presence just sucks the intelligence right out of people, leaving them a gibbering mess on the floor. Honestly, if another world war breaks out, whoever gets a hold of these two and stuffs them into a rocket has a weapon that could destroy the world with the sheer destructive stupidity it would spread. A terrifying notion, I know.
"Man will believe anything as long as it's not in the Bible."
I mean, that's kind of inaccurate. There's plenty of stupid stuff that's not in the Bible, but a better version would be, if you think something might be wrong, check to see if it's in the Bible, and if it is, then it's definitely bullshit. Honestly, it makes the Bible an incredibly powerful tool for finding out the truth, just by process of elimination.
Unfortunately, that is so true.
Unfortunate, and so says the man who believes anything in the Bible to be true. There's a level of hypocritical irony that I think could knock down buildings. It's just that powerful. Christ, I mean, I say that while I don't believe God exists, I can concede that something like him might. But the Bible God, not a chance. His book doesn't even agree with itself. If I was him, I'd be so mad at the screw-ups they made, I would just blow up the goddamn universe. Hell, I do that anyway, but it's really hard work.
Can you give me any example of a transitional form, going from one kind of an animal to another kind?
Oh, it's Vox Pops again. Why do you do this? What is the benefit of asking randos questions? Especially questions that you yourselves don't seem to understand. And then being like, aha, see, this person's answers aren't amazing, therefore me am the correct. Like, that's not how that works. I would love to see you talk to an actual evolutionary biologist or something like that and have all your questions answered, if not completely, then way, way better than you have been getting them answered. Then at least I'll know you've gotten some solid replies before you inevitably stupid all over yourself.
Transitional form between one and another. Well, thing is, it already is an animal, whatever it is. You mean like saying one that's halfway between this and this animal?
Right, so it seems Matey here is trying to articulate the idea that all creatures are transitional forms. I mean, he might be, he might not, I'm not actually sure. But that is a thing, because evolution never stops. If you want me to point at a transitional form, I can point to literally any creature on the planet. Now, obviously, you would be baffled by that answer, but your lacking understanding doesn't change the facts.
Can't think of anything right off the moment.
The parrot that's on your arm, God created. How could science make a parrot?
How can science make a parrot? Oh, God. Oh, no. I'm done. That's just, oh, Ray, you dumb motherfucker. Like, what even kind of question is that? No, I can't do this anymore. Mostly because that's one of the funniest things I've heard in ages. Mercy. Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the